Hello comrades, the honey badger here. So, the last guide. I taught you how to go from this to this. But you're going to notice a problem. The production is barely averaging at 25%, with almost 500 workers. How on earth is this possible? Well, continue watching and you're going to see how I'll use this factory at 100% capacity with a fraction of the workers. Spoiler, the secret is loyalty. So let's see the topics. What is loyalty and how can you monitor it? What's the default loyalty you start with? How does loyalty decrease? How do you increase loyalty? Let's start with our first topic. Loyalty is a hidden trait of each citizen you have. Having a 0% loyalty means that your citizens will try to evade your republic instantly. Having between 0 and 30% loyalty will make your citizens very aggressive and heavily increase the crime rate to points where you might not be even able to control. Moreover, by having low loyalty, your citizens' happiness drops extremely fast, up to the point where if you don't give them any food for a day, they're already at 70 to 80% happiness from 100%. Also, an unloyal citizen will not work as hard for you as a loyal citizen. As you saw at the beginning, the unloyal citizens, although 480 in numbers, they weren't able to bring the industry productivity higher than 25%. That's because an unloyal, unfed, unhappy citizen has a productivity of 30%, meaning he's lazy and he works 1/3 of his working speed. However, a citizen with 50% loyalty will give you a 110% productivity if all other needs are satisfied. Already, that's more than 3 times work speed increase compared to the unloyal citizen. Now, a highly loyal citizen at 100% loyalty will give you a 150% productivity if happiness, food, and health are also topped off. That's almost a 4 times increase from the 0% loyalty he had at the beginning. As I've mentioned, loyalty is a hidden trait, but it doesn't have to. Basically, you will need to build a secret police to see the loyalty of all your workers. This one, you can find it under State Infrastructure under Secret Police. In order to get the secret police, if you are playing with the research turned on, then make sure you use the small headquarters of the Communist Party in order to research it firstly. In the research tree, you're going to find it under party member ranking and afterwards the secret police. Also, make sure you give them enough cars. Always give them all of the cars they need. Moreover, in this building, it doesn't increase or decrease the loyalty of your already existing citizens. So you don't need to permanently be staffed. Therefore, 6 to 10 workers are enough. Basically, if you're seeing any of your citizens and you cannot figure out their loyalty, like this, then in that case, just increase the number of secret police workers you have. Next, let's talk about the default loyalty you start with. Now, when importing workers or highly educated workers from the Soviet Union, they're gonna start with a pretty high loyalty, between 50 and 70%. Already, you can see that their average productivity, like this, is between 80 and 95% or so. This one has 104, for example. When you are importing immigrants from the third world, meaning NATO countries, their starting loyalty ranges between 20 and 25%. Also, you're going to notice that their average productivity is between 30 and 45% at most. Moving on to the next topic, how does loyalty decrease? Loyalty decreases at a slow rate over time, even if their needs are fully satisfied. If there's nothing to remind them of the motherland, then they will slowly lose faith in it. Moreover, loyalty also decreases drastically if your citizen has a sad accident, like not being able to meet basic needs like food, clothing, electronics, alcohol, and water, or like someone in their family died, or not being in a good temperature, or not being able to visit the doctor, and the list goes on. Now let's move on to the next topic. How does loyalty increase over time? In this topic, I will explain it in stages. Let's start with stage 1. The first increase is from 0 to 50% loyalty. This can be done through monuments. In order to access the monuments, go to For Citizens, Trees and Accessories, and then you got monuments over here. All of these either increase the government loyalty or the kids' enjoyment of sport. We're going to focus only on the government loyalty influence. The best monument to build without researching anything is the Eternal Flame. It has a small footprint, decent percentage gain, and a range of 165 meters. But you can use any monument you want, the only condition being that buildings, be it flats, sports hall, mall, cinema, pub, industries, must be covered by your monuments. Since loyalty gain is already a slow process, it doesn't matter if you're using Eternal Flame Monument or the Red Star Monument. All it matters is its range. Also, this not only prevents loyalty from naturally decreasing over time, but it also increases it to a maximum of 50%. The total productivity gain is jumping from 30% to 110%. That's a huge increase in productivity just by building monuments. It's like getting free workers for each worker you have. Basically, now the 500 unloyal workers, by having 50% loyalty, they behave like they are 1,500 unloyal workers, but you still have 500 loyal workers. That means a huge reduction in necessities and also in infrastructure. Let's see how to check the ranges on these. So for example, I have this red star over here. If I hover over it, I can see the range that it has. The buildings go green. As you can see, the red star does not reach my industry area. Therefore, in my industry area, I'm going to put an Eternal Flame anywhere randomly. Here it fits nicely. Here we go. Now, if we check, the Eternal Flame covers almost all of the buildings except this one over here. Therefore, let's put one here too. Here we go. Now all of my buildings are fully covered. The next percentage margin is between 50 and 80%. But firstly, we need to discuss about this slider. This one over here, called minimal government loyalty. As you know, indoctrination into the Soviet way is like any other religion on this earth. It needs to start from a young age. Therefore, setting highly loyal workers into your school will allow your loyal teachers to make the children grow into workers with very high loyalty, up to the teacher's loyalty. The way how to decide how much government loyalty you need is by going into population statistics and checking your government loyalty. In my case, it's already at 81%. Therefore, I can bump it up to 80% with no issues. Similarly, it can be done on headquarters or other research buildings too. Let's bump it up to 80%. The same for students. Let's say that only students that have above 75% government loyalty can study here. Similarly with the secret police, make sure they have a proper number. This will speed up the investigation of your citizens and make sure that they indeed have the proper values for them. With that out of the way, let's see how to increase our loyalty to 80%. Hey guys, I haven't seen anyone trying to make a proper guide on loyalty, especially showing exactly the impact of it. Not just freely, willy-nilly talking into a microphone without providing any proof and just trying to fix his or others' republics whilst explaining how they think loyalty works. I got motivated to make this video so in-depth because you guys absolutely went to town with the rail video, racking up to 1000 views and 200 of you are newly subscribed, bringing my sub count already to 515. Thank you for that. I sincerely appreciate it. Also, we're halfway there to making YouTube buy me an evening coffee whilst I work on these videos. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button, like this video, and remember to leave a comment, even if it's just saying hello. It will allow the YouTube algorithm to push this video to more people like you that are interested in high quality guides and content. Anyway, where was I? Yes, let's increase the loyalty to 80%. Now, to do so, you're going to need a radio tower. If you haven't researched it yet, you're going to need a technical university, and in the research, go for Introduction to Broadcasting. Afterwards, you're going to need the radio signal broadcasting from the technical university, and then influence of radio broadcast from the headquarters. Afterwards, you're gonna need two conditions. 1. Have relatively loyal citizens, roughly 40 to 50% loyalty. 2. Crank up the Soviet propaganda to 100% over here. Then watch how the values change over here. You want to have the government loyalty as high as possible. You'll notice that when you're barely building the radio tower, your loyalty increase might be between 0.02 and 0.12. That's perfectly fine. Make sure that you're bumping up your government loyalty as much as possible, up to the point where your average government loyalty is close to the government loyalty that you're bumping to. So for example, I have 81%, I'll bump it to 80. This will make sure that only highly loyal workers are working in our radio tower. Moreover, only the citizens with a radio will be able to tune in. So make sure you stock up on electronics in your shopping center. This jumps the loyalty from 50 to 80%, thus giving us a productivity increase from 110% to 133%. That's a 23% increase from just having statues around. Well, you decide if it's really needed, but it's like getting a free worker for each 4 workers you have. So your original 500 loyalish workers that were made with statues now feel like 1625 unloyal workers that we started with. The next way to increase loyalty from 80% to 90% is by using the TV station over here. In case you don't have the TV station yet unlocked, you're going to go to Technical University and continue researching onwards. Basically, after radio broadcasting in the Technical University, research television signal study, then television setup, and then influence of television broadcast, which is done from the headquarters themselves. The TV station works exactly the same as the radio station. The only difference is that now you need your workers to have a television. To be frank, this can be used very late game, as a jump from 80 to 90% only increases your workers' productivity from 133 to 142%. This is just a mere 9% increase. So to compare it back, your 500 loyal workers that were brainwashed from the radio now feel like 1,680 unloyal workers. That's roughly a 55 extra workers that you're getting just by having the TV station. Now, a quick mention over here, the TV station and the radio station can be built once per your entire republic. You don't need multiple ones, unless you really want to overkill your population for whatever reason. Hey, you do you. Now, let's increase it from 90% to 100% and create your most loyal citizens. For that, you're going to need a car dealer and also parking lots, a lot of them. To be frank, although this type of thing will manage to create workers that have 100% loyalty, the difference in productivity jumps from 142 to 150%. So that means it's a measly 8% gain. Well, again, you get a free worker each 8 workers you already have. So your 500 loyalish workers that were brainwashed from the TV now feel like 1,742 unloyal workers that we started with. Is it worth it? I don't know. You do you. By introducing cars, you're going to overburden your infrastructure. If it's something you can handle and you properly build your infrastructure, by all means, go for it. So again, just by having an average of 81% loyalty, a productivity of 134%, we can see our factory, once it has all of the workers, go to 100% productivity, and you don't need the maximum 500 workers in here. They're gonna be a waste of resources. Just put 390, and the minimum asked for 100% loyalty is 375. That's 125 less workers, and if you combine it in 3 shifts, that's 375 total workers that you're eliminating from the oil refinery and making them work somewhere else. And that covers the loyalty guide. Remember to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment down below. I'm the Honey Badger, and until next time, I'm out.